Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming His Excellency, President Paul Kagame.
Excellency, welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here, and you always give sports a huge chance, and you always listen to us, the only one that listens to us. We broke ground there 2 years ago, and there was a vision. How did you think or see this coming? Because you've always talked about a sports city.
Wow, it's, in my life, when I was a kid and growing up, especially as old as I am today, with all the hassles and struggles of life, I learned one thing. I wasn't a sportsman by any standard. Up to now, I don't have very good ideas to do business, and so many other things. There are many things I'm not capable of doing. But I learned that I'm capable of doing something. And that was to enable, to support others in what they can do. And especially in my position now, I found that while I can't do business, I can support those who are capable of doing business to do it by creating an environment for them to do that so that they can succeed, and in the end, I and many others benefit from that. Same thing as sports. I wasn't a sportsman, at least not playing sports. I was a sportsman at heart. I thought more about that, and even thought about what I missed if I had been able to do sports. I was always thinking, now that I haven't been able, how much I missed in that. So bringing together those two things, again, in my position, given my background, my history, and my struggles, I set out to always say, I can't do nothing. I always have to do something. And if I can do something, by enabling those who can do much more that benefits them and the whole country. And as you said, all this builds communities, builds families, builds individuals. So if I can be part of that story where I can provide something that brings those together, I'm the happiest person. And that's how one idea came after another. Of course, you learn, you see, you hear, you discuss with many people, like so many discussions I have had with you, Masai, and many other friends in this field of sports. then that's how the idea came up and said, maybe we could do something in Rwanda. Which one is it? Where do you start from? And of course, many other people make some inputs as to what can be done, and that's how the idea of building this sports city came up. So, we are not stopping here. We keep growing, we keep going. And again, if that can inspire others beyond our borders, and if we can be part of that story and through cooperation, we are again very happy to be part of that.
How do you see this? How do you see all of this really inspiring and maybe even shaping? I think some people don't see sports, entertainment, and culture even shaping an economy, shaping a country. How do you think you are known now for the person who has really brought sports to the forefront in Africa, separate from AFCON, but in terms of the business, how do you see it shaping economics and countries in the future?
It does a lot. It has already done it. It's not just the future. And I think many people here and beyond see it for what it is. They've already seen the benefits. When you talked about the numbers in terms of employment in this area of sports, when you talk about what, for example, the arena, the stadium, and it's already happening. People are taking notice of that and counting and knowing that it has employed so many, it has brought in so much. And that interaction around of people here in Rwanda with the rest of the world speaks volumes in terms of value. So it has already brought in a lot. And it's a question of growing that. And we also know that statistics show that even across Africa, in terms of sports, it's running into billions as to what sports can bring to the continent. Tens of billions. So they shouldn't just be hearing this as a story. I think what we do as leaders at different levels is to encourage people to be part of realizing that story and reaping the benefits. And it's happening, so it's no longer something you just listen to and think it is for others and not for you. Now people believe. They start by believing, and when they start by believing and see things happening, then they believe even more and get more involved, and the sky is the limit.
I have So this one is a tough question. How do you use your influence and your leadership and what you've done to get to other leaders to believe in this or to see it? Because a lot of them don't see sports and entertainment in this way. How do we get to 53 other leaders to think this way?
Well, I have been there before with the tough questions. So I'll try my part. I always try. I think the best way, if you told people stories and the benefits of what you are telling them, but you have nothing to show to prove your story, the story you're telling them, right. You have no example that they can see. I don't think people will believe you or will even care. But I also want to assume that it's not me having to tell anybody the benefits of this or that. And so, because some of them already know really the benefits of this, and they know they can do it, they know they can even do it better than Rwanda. So the simple part for me to play is to speak out, and speak out loudly, and show what is possible and the benefits, and also demonstrate what I'm talking about that has already happened here in my country and how beneficial it is, as an example. So from their understanding and from their seeing the examples, I think maybe out of 10, you will convince 2, 3, and they'll feel the sense of urgency to do that kind of thing themselves. Then you keep trying. Maybe another time, you win another 2, you win another 3 over to what the discussion is about. It's not going to tell people stories, you see, or even you can't give them instructions, you must do this, you must do that. No. They have their own right and to the business they want to do for themselves, for their countries. But you can always share the experience and the benefits, and also that calls upon more cooperation among ourselves, being honest with each other, and sharing as much as we can. But for me, I always tell them the little things people talk about Rwanda, and they highlight some kind of success story. Yes, they can actually do better, much better than Rwanda, because they have almost everything to do that. And it is to the benefit of their own people. There is no country across Africa, no nation that doesn't have young people to the north of 70% or 60% of their populations are very young. And if you can't find something to excite, inspire, and move this big part of the continent's population, I don't think we would be doing justice to ourselves. So it's really speaking out, it's sharing, it's showing examples, it's even making appeals. Can appeal to people, and they will listen to you if you package it well with this sense of examples and showing the benefits, and the benefits to the constituencies of our populations that deserve to see that happen.
You know, excellent. So my last question, but I'll go to youth. I'm going to go to youth now, and I want to give a prime example of what President Kagame does. So when the arena was built, I had a conversation with His Excellency, and he asked me, who is managing this arena? Who is going to create the business? And this is an example how he gives opportunity to youth. So I make a suggestion to the president, and he asked me, he does his homework and asks me about a couple companies that do this, and a couple people. And then I have a young man from South Africa who's here. Carl Schofield, can you stand up for a minute? Yes. You guys have seen him. Excuse me, President, 1 second, okay? You guys have seen him. He manages all these properties, okay? All these properties. And the reason why I stand here is why we have to bring all of this together. Yes? We have to manage that arena. We have to manage this property. We have to manage the stadium. President Kagame has redone and rebuilt an incredible 60,000-seater stadium. 45. I added 15. Yes. And this young man came in here, and he came and presented to myself and Claire and Andrew on how he sees the vision of managing this. We went and presented this to His Excellency, and he said, why don't you give this young man a chance? Okay? And look at where it is now. Carl, in 2 words, tell me how this thing is going, and tell Excellency how it's going.
In 2 words. Well, let me first say thank you, please. Thank you, Masai. Thank you, Your Excellency, for the opportunity. On how it's going, I think it would be wrong of me not to acknowledge someone who really supports me, who is my wife. But yeah, exactly. Festus would have had me there. But no, look, I think from our side, you know, the way we look at it is, it's one thing building this beautiful infrastructure. It's another thing breathing life into it. And you know, that's really the aspect of commercialization. I learned that in my young days, of how do you commercialize assets. And that for us, the way we look at it is people. People is our currency. And that's what we focus on, is how do you create spaces for people to come together, for people to convene, to interact with each other. And for us, our focus is always creating that space, and you can see this today at Zaria Court. We've literally brought that together and created this ecosystem that we constantly speak about, that allows for us to bring people in. And I'll leave with one last point, which I'm extremely proud about, because today, 3 years later, it still reigns supreme, is that we focused on people, and we focused on the human currency, and today we still sit with the largest naming right deal in Africa. I say that with all pride.
Thank you. Thank you. A youth that has been given incredible opportunity by His Excellency here. His Excellency, the youth, there's a movement. You saw the kids in the arena yesterday. First thing you said to me today when we saw each other this afternoon, you asked about the kids, you asked what they were doing. You've given so many youth opportunity. We brought 350 kids from all over Africa to the Giants of Africa Festival. But it's not just that. It's not even just sports. It's in everything. Where do you see the youth movement on the continent? Where do you see the hope of the youth for us in Africa?
Well, it means, in my mind, thinking about the youth of Africa, and I don't think about borders. I think about, and in fact, the story told of the young person we gave opportunity to manage this, it demonstrates that. You know, in the past, well, some of the things we've done is really to change the mindset, primarily, of how to go about things. Ordinarily, if you, at the time you are looking for people to manage this place, somebody could have come to you and say, you know what, let's go and look for a Rwandan who can do it. Why do you bring anybody from somewhere else? That happens very frequently in many other places. But we did not hesitate, and because of what the story I'm just telling, we could not hesitate that the person who is capable, who is showing that he can do it, comes from another country. So we freely accept that, and that's how really we've changed things here. So for the youth, we need to make sure that everything we do simply translates their potential, their hidden talent into reality. And we have to keep investing in them directly, but also in the facilities that can help them utilize or bring out this talent and to benefit them, but also to benefit their communities. And the youth, we will always have to tell our young people to start by believing in themselves and therefore believing in their place, in their continent. Without that belief, it becomes more difficult to translate this potential into reality that we are talking about. So for the young people, they are the first asset the continent has. The rest come following that. But they must also believe in that and see that, and therefore work hard and work as much as the opportunity provided across the continent provides them. So what else can I say? Yeah.
I want to thank you, Your Excellency, for your vision, your friendship, your openness. You bring all of us here together. Now we come here how many times?
And before I finish my side, before we end this conversation, and with everybody's attention, all things we have said and the stories we have heard from different people, I wanted to acknowledge the presence of Aliko Dangote here. Yes. And for additional reason other than what was, there are many reasons, but I want to add one important one. He's behind an idea and also built on some of the frustrations we expressed here on the stage. Yes. About where the continent is and where it should be and so on. He has brought up an idea of African Renaissance, which was mentioned. And this has been to galvanize the understanding, the support, the buy-in of our continent, whether leaders, political leaders of different places, business leaders and others, to really focus on what is it that can take Africa from where it is and put it where it should be, and not have that story remain just as a story, but something that translates into tangible results. So he's been behind that, and I just want to express that some of us are very happy to work with him and other leaders. They have already had a meeting here in Kigali, and many other meetings will be held. But to really look at what, and maybe working also with the African Union in the settings of it provides. So thank you very much, Alhaji Aliko Dangote.
You know how we Africans are. I was blessed to be selected among these people in the African Renaissance in this program, and we were in the room, and the whole time, I swear, I was like this. Because of the people in the room. You know, like, I'm telling you, like, it's incredible how we Africans are walking. And I didn't say it just to say it, to have these two incredible leaders here, to see us in this space, to sit down like this. I am a proud, proud, proud African, and I'm proud, yes. I'm proud to know you all, and I thank you all for coming out here, for coming from further places. I thank you, Excellency, for receiving everybody and being very homely for all of us, because I'm telling you, we all just stroll into Kigali and act like we all own Kigali now. We just come in and it's home, you know, like it's home for us. So thank you, Excellency.
Thank you.
Thank you, Alaji, for coming. Yes, thank you, everybody. Festus, are you coming back? No, I'm not taking your job. I know I don't have a job, but I'm not taking your job.
Thank you, His Excellency. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sure he wouldn't want to take my job.